And tell us what's new at SDG&E.
Yeah, well, listen, Tom, I think, this is probably the most exciting time in our company's 140-year history. And I think that can be really said about the utility industry generally right now. So, we're really becoming, incubators of innovation, a lot of new technologies, a lot of new customer experiences. And so I think we're really setting the bar and really moving this industry forward. And so, at SDG&E, we're really focused probably on 3 core areas right now. And I would say number 1, it's modernizing our business. And, as a company that's been around for more than 100 years, we know that we've got to change. We've got to evolve. We've got to set ourselves up for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years for our customers. I think number 2, it's around safety and its resiliency. Yes, we have beautiful weather here. This happens a lot. But we do get extreme fire risk here. And so we're continuing to make really, really prudent investments in technology and in grid improvements for wildfire safety, as we're also building the grid to handle more EVs. 25% of our customers have rooftop solar today, and really getting ready to go to a zero carbon future down the road. And then finally, and you said it earlier, it's really about affordability. Consumers are frustrated with the cost of everything right now, and so we're doing our part to get our cost of service down even more, working with our policymakers to make sure that energy remains affordable for customers.
Very good. We'll get to maybe the technology part of the conversation in a moment, but I want to take a step back. I spent a lot of time just a moment ago talking about the use of data to solve technological problems, but there's also a part of our business which isn't purely engineering based. So what do you do to increase the use of data, or data literacy, if I can use that term, in the non-technical part of your business?
Yeah, Tom, as we think about this is probably one of the biggest change management initiatives that we're really going to have, and it's really more than just change. Really, we're talking about a culture shift. And getting all of our employees from the executive level all the way down to our line level employees to really begin to embrace technology even more than they've done so, to really embrace the power of data, and really getting our employees to really understand that data and technology is no longer just the domain of our IT department or our data scientists or somebody who can code in Splunk or make really, really pretty Power BI dashboards. This is really about trying to get the technology and that power of data into the hands of all of our employees. And so, we spent the last couple of years really focused on through our Center of Excellence, doing a lot of proof of concepts, really trying to have kind of a grassroots focus in terms of what's kind of the next thing for us to invest in. And we're going to really take it a step further. We're actually launching this year is a new AI Academy. And it's not just about trying to teach our employees about AI or just the technologies, but it's really that power of the technology and the tools and the data, and to get them really thinking differently. And then we're going to couple that with an AI ambassador program to really have peer-to-peer networking, peer-to-peer conversations. Because what we're finding is that the best ideas are not coming from me. The best ideas are not coming from necessarily our technology leaders, but really it's that grassroots down in the organization.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Let's talk a moment on wildfires. Real problem for many utilities, certainly true right here in Southern California.
Yeah.
Your wildfire center is absolutely a marvel. So if folks haven't had the opportunity to see it and you're given tours, I would absolutely sign up for it. But the thing that I want to talk about is the use of data and specifically edge data to solve real world problems and do wildfire mitigation.
Yeah. Yeah, so, Tom, we had a catastrophic wildfire in 2007 and caused by our utility equipment, and we created an ethos from that moment forward. Our ethos is never again. And so we've been on this journey at SDG&E to make sure that our facilities are not the cause of a catastrophic wildfire. And, we started with one meteorologist and one weather station in our service territory. And really, as we're starting to fast forward, 20 years later, we're really moving from reaction, which is what we used to do. The wind is going to blow. It's going to be dry. What do we do? And we're moving really into prediction. And And the use of technology and data is helping helping us make much better decisions, faster decisions, and probably a couple key areas. Number one is our AI-enabled weather models. And so we've got about 225 weather stations all throughout our service territory. And so we have hyper-local data now for the past 10 years. And so we've actually trained our AI weather model to have absolute hyper-local prediction. And it's not just it's going to be windy in our mountains, but we know it's going to be windy at 2 a.m. on this particular circuit. So we share that data with all of our first responders, all of our communities, and so we can have a regional response when we know we're going to have an event. I'd say number two is our drone program. Really having drones are taking millions of images of all of our facilities. And when we started this, we had literally dozens, sometimes hundreds of people in a room reviewing these images to see if there's any anomalies on our systems. And now with intelligent image processing, we're able to, again, really train an AI model to look for broken cross arms. Maybe you have a cracked insulator, woodpeckers on the cross arms. It's amazing what you see from above as opposed from being below. So that's really been a game changer. And then finally for us is our AI camera network. So we actually started, we're blessed here in San Diego to have some absolutely incredible partners and academic institutions. And we actually started with a camera network here in San Diego that's now grown and proliferated, and now there's probably thousands of them throughout the West. And to where we can actually have now these cameras that are AI trained to pick up smoke detection. So we have cameras all over the place. It picks up a smoke detection. It gives lat and long, so we know exactly where that smoke is. It's dispatching helicopters and first responders, and it's able for us to start running our fire simulator models, which we do about 10 million simulations every night with the San Diego supercomputer. So that's really where we're headed in terms of from being a reactive utility to being very proactive with our communities.
Spectacular. The last question before I could spend hours having this conversation, but they don't give us that much time. So let's talk about the workforce of the future, the utility of the future. How can you put the use of AI, data, all the things we're talking about to build a workforce for San Diego Gas and Electric for the years to come?
Yeah, I think sometimes it starts at the top, right? So, we are making this an emphasis. We're making this a priority, and both in our retention of our employees, we are focusing more on training and upskilling and making sure that we want to invest in their future. Right now, it can be really scary for people. They hear AI, they hear all these stories about how there's going to be, so many job cuts and job losses, and so we're really focused on trying to give some comfort to our employees that this isn't about getting rid of jobs, but helping them to make their jobs a lot easier to do and a lot more efficient. And so, that's really one area. But we're also trying to show them what the art of the possible is. As we go through, and whether it's giving 5,000 of our employees access with the appropriate guardrails and data protection, in terms of a large language model, and let them actually try this out. And so they're starting to feel a lot more comfortable. And then as we really think about hiring and attracting talent, hey, listen, the utility sector has not always been the place you want to go if you really want to do cool, interesting, tech, innovative things, but that is absolutely changing. And so I think between what we're doing on Wildfire, what we're doing with data and smart meters and predictive algorithms in terms of usage, that there's no better place to be than the utility sector if you want to have real purpose and a journey, and whether it's on tech innovation or whether it's on climate, whether it's on carbon reductions, this really is the place. But it is going to start with people, and it's really attracting that talent that's going to be absolutely essential to us.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Absolutely.